What's going on, guys? ChillsFM here, taking a look at my best team for the Great League Remix Cup with some pretty unique picks, at least picks that I haven't seen a ton. I'm leading Steelix, safe swapping Haxorus, and running Chestnut as my closer. This team does work in ABB fashion. Haxorus is there to lure out any fairy types, ice types, or flyers that Chestnut really wants to avoid, and Steelix can clean all those three up pretty well. It doesn't really love to see fairy types since it does have Dragon Tail as a fast move, but Psychic Fangs can continually debuff their defense. Earthquake can nuke them, and of course we're going to be resisting all the fairy type moves thanks to Steelix's steel typing. Speaking of, we got one right here on the field, so let's go ahead and jump on into some of these battles. Leave a like, let's get it going. Alright, so we had a positive lead with the Toxapex, and then they come in with the Shadow Granbull, and I am in full-on panic mode, but I am very thankful for Steelix's ability to drop their defense with the Psychic Fangs. So we do have to shield up the Crunch. We're not going to make it to another Psychic Fang, so I'm going to throw this one, grab the shield, and dip into Chestnut, hoping I can Vine Whip down the Shadow Granbull, and yes, we do, and we leave with a Frenzy Plant. So while we took a lot of damage, this is not worst case scenario. They're going to come back in with the Toxapex. I'm going to throw this Frenzy Plant immediately to do some nice chip damage. It's not going to one-shot by any means, but it does put them into the red. In the back, they have a Pidgeot, so they do get an energy lead. However, Haxorus only needs 5 counters to the Breaking Swipe, and they need 7 wing attacks to their Brave Bird or Feather Dance. So we do reach at the same time. Haxorus is going to win all CMP ties. We're going to get this Breaking Swipe off to drop their attack and do some nice chip damage. Now, I got a call to make. I'm going to go ahead and just call it. And it is the Feather Dance. So I'm going to just swap to Steelix to clear that debuff. They will have to throw again to take out my Steelix. And I decided to go ahead and let this go through, because I know I can just farm down with Haxorus, and I'll leave with energy to be able to thread that Toxapex when they come back in. I still have a shield. We're in a great spot. We're going to get this Breaking Swipe off, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. So honestly, all three of those Pokemon Chestnut doesn't really want to see, but we're able to find some use for it and able to take the dub regardless. All right, Scrafty lead. So this is probably the worst lead you can see, because of most fighters are going to be at least taking super effective damage from Psychic Fangs, or they're going to be the normal type fighters, things like Vigoroth, things like Double, that really rely on the body slam damages, body slams to add to their damage, which Steelix resists. So those matchups are not great for Steelix, but they're not so bad. Scrafty, of course, resist the Psychic Fangs. It's doing super effective with all the counters. It can ramp up its damage with the power of punches. It's a nightmare of a lead, but we're going to play our best that we can. We were able to grab a shield with our Haxorus, thankfully able to get to that second Breaking Swipe, dropping their attack as well. And now we actually leave with close to an Earthquake. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this into this Scrafty. It's not going to one-shot, but it will be putting them into the red in Vine Whip downrange. Chestnut doesn't really have to fear any charge moves here. It would really be the fast move pressure if they started ramping up their counters with power punches. But instead they throw the foul play, and they dip into Cresselia. Now, most fighters don't want to see Cresselia, but Chestnut doesn't mind so much, because we are going to be able to outpace with the combination of Vine Whip and Frenzy Plant. Even if they bait, they need 6 Psycho Cuts to the Grass Knots. I need 6 Vine Whips to the Frenzy Plants, and then of course the third one will be 5 to make to that third Frenzy Plant. And same for them, right? They make it to their third move quicker as well. So I am going to just invest both shields. We had the shield advantage, so we are going to make it to this next Frenzy Plant. Yeah, we got double baited. It feels bad, but it doesn't really matter, because we're going to take them out with the Frenzy Plant. In comes Scrafty, and there's just nothing that they can do from this point, and that's going to be GG's. Well played. All right, into the next one. Steelix into a Alolan Sandslash, so not catching a lot of good leads early on. I will be throwing one Dragon Tail and then swapping out into my Haxorus. This was not uncommon. I've seen plenty of Alolan Sandslashes, and not one of them swapped out immediately when I came in with Haxorus. All of them took so much counter damage, which really puts me in a good spot, because now Steelix can potentially deal with that Alolan Sandslash in game. Anyways, we do lure out another Golbat. That's great, right? Chestnut absolutely does not want to see this thing. It double resists both grass and fighting type moves. This one's non-shadow, so we do not grab a shield. They go for the Shadow Ball. Which I guess after that second Breaking Swipe, they needed it. I think they could have just thrown the Poison Fang when they got it. But it is what it is. Maybe they're running Sludge Bomb. That would be crazy. Anyways, here comes the Alolan Sandslash. We're going to throw these Psychic Fangs here. They have energy, so I don't necessarily want to dip. And then they dip. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is what I needed. This is exactly what I needed. Sometimes you don't got to play well. Sometimes you just got to make sure that you take advantage of your opponent's mistakes, right? Play well enough to make them make a mistake. And that's what we got right here. So I am going to show up the Blast Burn. I'm going to make it to this next Psychic Fangs. It will, of course, be using their final shield right here. But these Dragon Tails are absolutely chunky now. So we get them down deep into the red. Into Vine Whip downrange. We'll go ahead and eat this Blast Burn. It's going to be 2 Vine Whips. So we take a lot of wing attack damage in that time. And it all comes down to, can Chesnaught survive 1 Ice Punch? That's all we need. 1 Ice Punch. And yes, we do. Beautiful. We're going to get this superpower off, and that's going to be GG's well played. Yeah, Ice Punch is just such a bad move. It's such a bad move. Even from the Shadow. Like, Shadow, Stab, you would think it would take out, but no. It does not. Anyways, into the next one. Up against a Golbat lead. We do finally get a good lead. And they swap out into double. Now, this was the first time I saw this team. I don't play this right. I come in with my hard answer, right? Which seems great. But there's going to be a Scrafty in the back. There's going to be a Scrafty in the back. And if they save shields for that Scrafty, I just lose. I just lose. It just power up punches through everything. So here's the thing. The better play is to stay in with Steelix against double. If you see this line, just stay in with Steelix against the double. Either you're going to win switch. I would not invest shields. I would not invest shields. But if they try to bait, anything like that, you're going to win switch. If they don't try to bait, then you're going to just come in with Haxorus and you're going to counter down. With Energy Lead, Haxorus can easily handle the Golbat, and they're never going to want to bring Scrafty into it. And you're going to end up getting the shields, and then potentially Chesnaught can clean up. I don't know. I haven't had the opportunity to actually try it. That's how I would play this if I were to go back. If I were to see this team again, that's how I would play this. Because you're going to see now, the Scrafty is just going to power up punch through everything. Even though my Steelix is basically full health right now, there's just not a lot we can do. I make it to this next superpower. This will, of course, be grabbing the final shield. They're going to get the farm down, and it's just ugly. Like, the counters already do a nice amount of damage, but they're going to make it to 2 more power punches. So I can't even shield this first one. I got to make it to the Earthquake. Psychic Fangs are going to do absolutely nothing here. So I do shield up this power up punch. I'm like, okay, come on, just make it there, and then make a Psychic Fangs against the Golbat. We'll be fine. But no, I mean, like, we're in Poison Fang range now. We're in Poison Fang, which is triple resisted. We should never be in Poison Fang range, but we are. So it's gonna be GG's well played. Yeah, we lost a shield with bringing Haxorus into double, and it's just, yeah, like I said, just staying with Steelix. All right, so not really a great lead here with Lurantis, since it does have Leaf Blade, which hits for neutral, and also Superpower, which hits for super effective. I try to catch a Leaf Blade, I don't. I'm going to go ahead and just eat this on Haxorus, because it's likely that as a grass type lead that they have an answer for a dragon. But they actually end up coming in with Regirock. I'm like, oh no. This opponent didn't have an answer for a Haxorus, and I just sacked it. But regardless, we make it to a second Breaking Swipe against this Regirock before they get the lock on down, and they have to throw up a shield right here if they want to keep switched. Not only that, it was a CMP tie. So this is beautiful. Like, this is best case scenario for me. We're going to go ahead and just eat that Stone Edge, come in with our Chesnaught. We're going to get the Vine Whip down. I might have to throw up 1 shield, but I don't think that they're at the focus spot yet. You see, I immediately, no shield. So yeah, it's just going to be a Stone Edge. It has resisted damage thanks to Chesnaught's fighting type. And what are they going to be coming in with? Is it going to be that Lurantis? If so, I'll Superpower and dip. Actually going to be a Charizard. So I do decide to go ahead and throw the Superpower because of Charizard with energy and just sweep my team. So we throw the Superpower. It actually does more than I expected it to. Come in with Lurantis. I'm going to throw the Psychic Fangs immediately. They give up their final shield. That's great for me. That is great for me. I decided to call this. I'm expecting the Leaf Blade. They do end up Superpowering, but Steelix is just so bulky. We really don't care. And I throw up a shield here. And then they Leaf Blade, which wouldn't have KO'd, so I could have no-shielded that, but it just doesn't matter. Charizard without shields can't do a ton. So we'll go ahead and throw this first Psychic Fangs. That's going to be dropping them into the red, and we're going to make it to another Psychic Fangs here. Even if I didn't make it to the Psychic Fangs and they threw the Blast Burn, I could no-shield that and I could make it to a Superpower on Chestnut. So we had multiple ways of winning that one. Gonna be GG's, well played. Alright, Jellicent leads kind of a core breaker, right? Because it's double resisting all the counters from Haxorus. It has Surf, which would hit Steelix for super effective. I'm not running Crunch. Chestnut's a good answer for it though. Chestnut is a good answer, so that's where we want it. I do come in with Haxorus. I decided to go ahead and go straight for the Night Slash. That potentially puts them in Vine Whip downrange later. They decided to go straight Surf. I called the first one, but it still does so much that I have to shield up the second one, which is unfortunate. Now they come in with a double. I'm telling y'all, people don't have answers for Haxorus. A lot of teams did not. A lot of teams did not. We're gonna make it to this next breaking swipe right here. If they want to get off the Body Slam, they probably have to shield this. And they don't. They actually survive, and I don't think they realize that they survived. Because they don't throw the Body Slam. I didn't think that they survived, to be honest. They come with Jellicent, they get one Hex. I come in with Chestnut. They will be able to reach a Shadow Ball. But we'll be able to tank it. I'm expecting, since they're leading with water, that they have a Grass type answer. So I'm going to go ahead and Vine Whip down. I'm ready to Superpower and dip. I'm actually going to come in with Vigoroth. Now, does not generally win CMP unless it's a very high attack stat Vigoroth. We win CMP. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and bank a Superpower. I'm going to come with Steelix. I don't know why I threw the Frenzy Plant, by the way. Should have just done the Superpower and been fine. But regardless, we make it to the Earthquake here. This will either KO or grab the final shield. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's not that great of a matchup for Vigoroth. Because even here, they're going to throw another Body Slam. We're just going to survive it. We don't get the Psychic Fangs off, but that's fine. We're going to make it to this Superpower. That's going to be GG's, well played. Yeah, this easily takes out Vigoroth. So GG's, well played to my opponent. All right, we got one more battle. If you made this far, leave a like, leave a comment. You know the drill. Let's get into the next battle. Empoleon lead. This is a bad lead, but we do have two fairly good answers. Of course, Chestnut needs shields to be able to compete with the Empoleon. We will be able to outpace the Empoleon, but Duropex will one-shot a Chestnut since it does hit for double super effective. We lure out a Whimsicott. So this is good, right? Because Chestnut doesn't have to see it. We're able to drop their attack. They decide to throw their Moonblast before I'm able to drop their attack again. Now they're going to be chipping away my Steelix with their Seed Bombs. Actually running Seed Bomb over Grass Knot. I don't really know which one's better. I know Grass Knot got nerfed and buffed at the same time this season. So it's like, it's cheaper than Grass Knot. I guess it's more of a bait move. Grass Knot, of course, hits harder. There you go. I throw the Psychic Fangs hoping that they don't get off another move, but they do. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to actually eat this, and then I'm going to come in with Chestnut just to get a small energy lead. In the back, they are going to have a Cresselia. So we saw this when Chestnut was up a shield that we can win this, but even shields, it's not so simple. We're going to be able to take them out with two Frenzy Plants, but they're going to be able to take us out with one Future Sight or with a Moonblast plus a few Psycho Cuts. So I do throw up a shield, of course. We get baited with the Grass Knot, feels bad. Going to throw this next Frenzy Plant before they're at their next Grass Knot, or Moonblast rather. And there it is. So here's the problem. I'm giving up my second shield. They still have this Empoleon alive. If it makes it to a Duropex, it one-shots my Chestnut. But they allow me to make it to this next Frenzy Plant. And they invest their final shield on Cresselia. So now, if I can make this catch, which I do, we might have some play here. I still need to make it to an Earthquake against this Empoleon to have a play. I don't think, did I make a Super? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Maybe I missed it. Maybe if I did, then like, maybe I was fine either way. But them staying in to give me that energy, that's exactly what I needed. So again, just a case of take advantage of your opponent's misplays. That's sometimes how you can win these tough battles. So we saw a lot of that in this video. This will only be another Grass Knot. It's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is Chill SFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.